Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Just going to shut this down. So thanks for joining us today. We're going to do a short segment for anyone who's tuning in. If you're watching the replay, we really appreciate giving us 2 smiley icons, and if you're watching the live version, 1 smiley icon. So we're going to cover the topic, can you really wake up feeling and looking 20 years younger? So there's been a lot of media coverage in the papers recently, on the TV, on this particular topic. And so we're going to talk about an article that actually was in the paper. So before we get started, I'm going to introduce Dr. Kurt Pisnik. We have on the call here today with us. Kurt's been studying age reversal medicine for over 20 years. He's had his own practice in chiropractic, and he's very passionate. So welcome, Kurt.
Thanks for having me on the panel.
Great, thank you for joining us today. And Trevor, we've got Trevor on the call. He's really passionate about nutrition and age reversal. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, Trev.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi friends and everyone watching this. Really excited about today. I'm looking forward to sharing our knowledge, particularly Kurt's, and we're really excited about to be able to share this kind of information with everyone about age reversal and about how we can stay a lot younger and live a lot older.
Great. So I'm going to actually do a screen share now. We've got an article that we want to show you. Here we go. So this article was in the Herald Sun, that's right, Trev, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so just going to read a bit of this article. We want to really connect the dots for people here. What are they actually talking about? Because it sounds quite unbelievable, turning back the clock. Too good to be true, really. So this is talking about a remarkable breakthrough that Australian scientists could see aging bodies reprogrammed to feel 50 years younger. So in a world first, a team of researchers led by the University of New South Wales and Harvard professor David Sinclair has developed a reprogramming process that could regenerate the human body. So this article really goes into a lot of detail, and it's really talking about some research done in 2017 showing how that a derivative of nicotinamide mononucleotide can actually reverse the decline in blood flow to tissues and organs associated with age and improve the exercise endurance of old mice by 60%. If it works in humans, it could be the equivalent of giving a 70-year-old human the abilities of a 20-year-old. So this is pretty remarkable information, quite unbelievable. But although we've been exploring this topic quite a lot, and the ingredient that they're talking about in this particular article, Trev's actually had quite a bit of experience with, and he's been using it himself as well with himself and his partner. So Trev, do you want to tell us a bit about your story?
Yeah, for sure. I must say, like when we started learning about this new science, like it hasn't been around for very long, and now we're seeing it hit the papers. So, which is quite good to see, really. It's been on A Current Affair as well, and a number of other papers around Australia. But yeah, when I first heard about this this science, I thought, oh wow, it sounded too good to be true. And anyway, I was quite skeptical about it, really, because it just sounded so far-fetched, really. But anyway, we were lucky enough to get onto a natural derivative product in the form of nicotinamide mononucleotide.
Yeah.
But my partner Shah, she suffered from an autoimmune affliction, and even though we had fantastic results using minerals and antioxidants and using forms of seaweed that could help with inflammation in the body, which really helped her immensely, really. We got onto this kind of technology here to help the body to repair. And Shah's form of autoimmune stemmed in the aortic arch, and it was a very rare autoimmune. And what it did was actually create inflammation in the aortic arch, which meant that she had no blood flow, or well, reduced blood flow to the arms and carotid arteries to the brain, and they actually call it pulseless disease. And this disease was picked up when she had a very minor hernia operation, and they did some investigation and found that she had this autoimmune. So basically, when we got together as a couple, I learnt about her problem, and I wasn't happy about the fact that she was on meds and things that were really about just suppressing the immune system. And for me, that wasn't really good enough. So we were on this journey of trying to find ways of helping with the inflammation in the body and hopefully helping with the problem. Anyway, we had great results. And when we come across this new technology, she obviously went on it. And what happened was quite amazing, because for 8 years, she could never get a detectable blood pressure read in her arms. And lo and behold, she went on this technology, this science, and she ended up getting a pulse back in her arms. 8 weeks later, we started getting a minor blood pressure read in the arms, and it's actually gotten to the point where it's improved immensely. So,
Can I just interject there just for a second, Kurt? When you heard that, weren't you driving with your son, who's a doctor, and you heard about her finding the pulse, and he pulled over and said, "Is this for real?"
Yeah, my son is in his third year of med school, and he was just really actually studying the disease, and he really did. He was just totally amazed that Shar was able to get her pulse back, because he'd never heard of that.
Yeah, so what's been so fantastic about going down this route was that, the prognosis of this disease that she had wasn't a real good one. And it actually got her to a point where she was off all the medications, which was just fantastic, really. And now her vascular surgeons, who have been doing all sorts of Doppler ultrasounds, checking out the vascular system and seeing whether there's been any progression in the disease, have turned around and said that her disease has fizzed out, which is just fantastic, So it's just totally changed our whole outlook. It's just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I remember talking to you, Trevor. It was a pretty dark time when it was at its worst, and staying positive and getting on top of it. Well,
Yeah, but for me, for someone who hasn't got any health issues whatsoever, for me, it's been fantastic. I remember telling you, Kurt, my vision's improved, from my peripheral vision's improved, my night driving skills. I was getting to a point where I was lacking a bit of confidence because I couldn't see properly at night, and I can now see better, clarity in thinking. I actually really do feel younger, and I just spoke to Shar about it this morning. I said, well, how do you really feel about it? What's it done for you? And she says she just feels happy. She's got a lot more energy. She says, less feeling like you couldn't be bothered. So, it's just been awesome, really. I just feel great. I just feel really great.
Okay, you ingredient, how have you been feeling?
You asked me?
Yeah, I was saying, so you've also had experience taking the same ingredient. What's been your experience with it?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I actually heard about the ingredients. It was 2 years ago. It was actually a year before the age pill came out, before the anti-glycation extreme came out. I was actually at a convention. It was the radical convention against anti-aging and against aging and death. And they were talking about this science about the nicotinamide riboside and the nicotinamide mononucleotide. And I thought, holy cow, this sounds amazing. So I started ordering the ingredients separately. And I started taking the products. It was 2 years ago. And I noticed right away that I started feeling better. And then when Tom came out with the product that we have now, I mean, the formulation is so much more powerful. And like Trevor was just saying, I could see better. I was telling a gentleman last night, I don't even know where my reading glasses are anymore. I mean, honest to God, I don't even know where they are. I haven't used them in a year. Wow. I haven't used them in a year. I'm 56 years old. I feel like I have the memory I had back when I was going to school for engineering. People can tell me things. I remember it. It's a blast. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, just fantastic science, and it's just awesome to get these results. So I'm going to share a couple of pictures, actually, Kurt, if you want to talk through them, because I actually found these really remarkable. Let me just see if I can get them. This is one. This is a friend of yours, isn't it, Kurt? This gentleman. Right. And what I found, and people will look at the photo and they say, oh, well, is it the same person? He's got a lighter tan and in one, he's, you know, lighter in one and darker in the other. But, you know, it's summer and he's obviously been out in the sun and he tans well, being his background. But what was particularly interesting to me is that if you look at his skin changes, I mean, he's pulling the same face, but look at the lines on the forehead and between the eyebrows and on the cheeks and stuff. I mean, can you see this? This is remarkable. He's a friend of yours. You've seen it, and you've seen it happen to him.
Right. I mean, when you look at his skin tone, you look at the firmness of the skin. You can see that the pores have tightened up. Everything about it. I mean, he looks younger. He looks like he's reversed his age. Just in these two photos, he's looked like he's reversed his age 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
How long has he been on the product for, Kurt? Any idea?
How long has he been on it? Between these photos? Boy, I'd just be guessing if I gave you an answer.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, and then there's one more here. And this one's incredible. So, Kurt, when we're talking about this ingredient that they talked about in the article and, you know, really turning back the clock, I mean, this is a gentleman who's been taking this for a year. And look at the difference in color. The bottom picture is obviously where he started, and now the top picture is a more recent. Look at the change in color. So, you know, what's your take on that?
That's just unbelievable, right? That it's actually changing the color. And I was at the vet today with my black lab, and the veterinarian, when I told her that my dog was 10 years old, she couldn't believe it. She said first she looked in his mouth, and she said, well, his teeth, he looks like he's 5 years old based on the health of his teeth. And I told her, I said, so I've been giving him this nicotinamide riboside product. And she just was like, wow, tell me more about that. I need more information.
Yeah. I mean, I was so thrilled about these results. You know, I even started giving it to my dog, and I'm having the same experience with her, you know, and she's really going well, being 15 years old. Vet
Right.
did a check, took her bloods, said she was in remarkable shape for her age. Incredible. So, yeah, just thrilled. So I guess we've covered quite a bit with the article and really the science. And so the topic today was really, you know, can you really wake up feeling younger, feeling 20 years younger, looking and feeling 20 years younger?
Looking and feeling, exactly.
Yeah. And so whilst, you know, that's really not going to happen overnight, like this gentleman here, it's a slow progression. So maybe, Kurt, just in wrapping up, why is it a slow progression to really have the effects of any type of age reversal or, you know, seeing that kind of thing?
Right. Well, when you take a look at the nicotinamide mononucleotide and nicotinamide riboside, and just even niacin, because they're all various forms of niacin, what happens is that it works with the stem cells. It pulls the stem cells out of senescence, and just an easy explanation for senescence is hibernation. The stem cells are in hibernation. So you're pulling them out of hibernation, you're removing that glycation and lipofuscin, and you're allowing the stem cells to do what they're supposed to do, which is repair the body and keep us young and keep the cells young. And as we age, the cells just tend to kind of go into the senescence. And so what the science shows is that it works to reverse all that. And that's what you're seeing with Trevor's testimonial. You're seeing it with our dog's testimonial. And, you know, dogs, they don't have a way of doing any kind of placebo effect. That's what I like. And
Trev, what did you say about dogs?
Big pardon?
What did you say about dogs before?
Oh, dogs don't lie.
dogs don't lie.
Hey,
Right.
just a question, Kurt. Like, you know a lot about the science, and you mentioned advanced glycation endo products. Can you just tell us about why this stuff's working, just quickly, in a, you know?
Well, I mean, think about it like this. I mean, a lot of people ask me about glycation. They say, well, what is it? Right? And we can get into a lot of science, but most people hated science in high school and they hate it now. And so you don't want to explain it in terms of science, but the easy way to explain it is really like this. If I've got a piece of fish and I'm going to throw it in the frying pan, I'm going to roll it in some flour. I'm going to get the flour so it sticks to the fish, and then I'm going to throw it in the frying pan with a lot of oil in the frying pan. So what happens is the hot oil makes the carbohydrate, the sugar, the flour, it makes it turn into a crust that envelopes the protein, the fish, and it sticks to it. Well, in your body, we have this constant oven that's burning all the time. It's our body temperature. It's burning at a low temperature. And what it does is it does the same thing. So when you eat a carbohydrate, when you eat that whole or that piece of bread or whatever it happens to be, anything that converts into a sugar, what that does is that the temperature in your body causes that to stick like a crust onto the protein.
Wow. And that slows everything
Okay.
down.
And so the product, what it does is it's like you go into the restaurant, you order the fish, and you peel the breading off of it. Then you eat the fish, but you don't eat the breading. Well, that's what the product's able to do, is able to remove that breading off your cells, especially the stem cells.
So as we age, we get like a build up of gunk in the body, is what you're saying, really. Is that right?
Exactly.
So this has got the ability to break down that gunk and release it and help our stem cells to reactivate themselves, like senescence, like you said.
Right. Yeah, I'm working with a couple of stem cell clinics right now, and we're finding that we get better results when we put people on these products beforehand. And if we follow up with these products, we find that the patients respond that much better to the actual treatment.
Wow. Well, that's great. I'm really excited that you guys could join us today and that we're on Trev's page. And for anyone who's watching the replay or watching us live, if you're keen to leave a comment, please do, and Trev will get back to you with any information. So I guess we're going to leave it there. We're going to do another one in another week. And thanks everyone for watching and joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Kurt. See you, mate.